Hi everyone, my name is Andy. This is my YouTube channel, Andy Amazon Advocate. Today I got a friend. His name is Anthony. He's from this company called PickFu. So I met him in Facebook, and I roughly chat with him, and I start to look at his website, that the things that he provides and everything, and I found it's quite interesting, and that's the reason why I want to do an interview with him today. So without further ado, without me talking too much, maybe I like Anthony. Maybe you can introduce yourself first, please.
All right. Well, Andy, thanks so much for having me on the show. I've been watching for a while, and I'm really excited to be here, really excited to tell a little bit about my story. So my background is I actually came from working at Amazon. I worked Amazon corporate. I worked out of a fulfillment center in Houston, Texas, doing operations management. And before that, I had sold a little bit on Amazon. I was going to start a full-time job, and I wanted some kind of passive income before I'd start working full-time. And Amazon does allow you to sell while you're working there. So I had like one little product. I was working at Amazon. I really enjoyed my job. I really loved my job. And one day I got a call from a good friend of mine from university. And he gave me a call and he said, "Hey, I've got this creative agency in the Philippines, creative agency for Amazon sellers called Virtuous Graphics. And at the time they did photography and graphic design for Amazon sellers. Why don't you quit your job, move out to the Philippines, move out to Manila and help me scale this company?" And I thought, that is absolutely insane. That's crazy. But I knew that it was something that if I didn't end up doing, I'd end up regretting it forever. So the next day I put in my 2 weeks notice, left a 6-figure job, moved across the world to make $2,000 a month. And so I did that for about 2 years. And it sounds crazy, but as you know, someone who's spent a lot of time and lived in Southeast Asia, the cost of living is very reasonable over there. So for about 2 years, I helped grow and scale the company. We grew to more than 35 full-time employees, and we were able to exit the business back in September and helped through the transition. And so now I'm working with this new company called PickFu, which is a software tool that helps Amazon sellers get feedback almost instantly on anything from product design to packaging to branding, a whole bunch of different things for their products and their brands.
So I've been seeing PickFu everywhere in terms of some webinars and some events you guys are sponsoring and things like that. I've been seeing this brand quite often recently. So maybe you can just let my fans or my students know what actually do you guys do, and I'll be more than happy to know too as well.
Yeah, sure. So imagine this, right? Like if you're a big company like Nike or Under Armour, when you're launching a product, the same way that a normal Amazon seller, you're going to go through a very extensive product research phase. You're going to try to figure out what the customers want. The whole goal of doing any kind of product research is just so that when you get to the point where you launch your product, the risk that you're totally going to screw up is lower, right? And so when a major mass market company like Under Armour or Nike, when they launch a product, they're going to spend anywhere from $35,000 to $75,000 just getting feedback on the design of the product, on the functionality, how everything works together. And so what PickFu is rather than, we know that's not reasonable for 99% of sellers to go through and do that much market research. PickFu is a really easy and a really economically viable tool where you can test any kind of concept, whether it is you want to know, hey, I've got 2 options for a logo, which one best fits with my brand, or you have your product packaging, your product design, or you want to test a main image. You want to test different versions of your infographics. You have 2 different versions of an infographic. Which one looks better? PickFu is a really easy way where you put up 2 options. You can put up more than 2 options, but most people put up 2 options and you say, do you like A or do you like B? So it's kind of like a split test, but it happens right away. What's also really cool about PickFu is the people are not just deciding, do I like option A or do I like option B? They're actually required to give you feedback as to why they chose that option. And that's the really powerful part about PickFu. It's not just saying, hey, design A got 60% of the votes and design B got 40%. It's like the reason that they chose option A, you go back to your manufacturer, you go back to your designer and you say, how can I incorporate that feedback and to make the launch even better and to reduce the risk that there could be problems along the way.
So is PickFu only available in US now or in other countries?
Yeah, so right now it's our panel. So we've got about 10,000 people on the PickFu panel. These are the people that are getting paid to to answer these questions and to give the feedback. All of them are US based right now. And so we obviously have plans moving out into other markets, UK and Germany being quite large for Amazon. But for right now, we have sellers that are based outside of the US, but they're selling into the US market.
I see. The way I look at PickFu, right, is actually, it doesn't really meant to be 100% meant for Amazon sellers. I mean, it can be meant for anything else as well. You know, if I'm a new company, I start a company and I know I'm looking at a corporate design, I can also ask feedback from the people, you know, in your panel of people to ask the questions. Am I right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Andy. And actually how PickFu started is you had the two founders of the company, Justin and John. They're both kind of like nerdy engineers, right? And they'll tell you that themselves. And so they were actually working on another website, something that was a different way to categorize restaurant menus. And they kept bumping into heads, right? Like, hey, what should we do? What should we do? And so they created PickFu as an internal tool that they could use to kind of settle disagreements, and it kind of blossomed into this bigger thing. But you're absolutely right. The big application is obviously e-commerce, but some of our other really large verticals, if you're launching a book, right, you've put all this time and effort into this amazing book. No one might ever read the book or even read the title if the cover doesn't look good. So we see that. We've seen it in different, like politicians will test their signs and see which yard sign do they want to put in. There's a whole bunch of different applications that you can use. E-commerce is probably the most in your face, where you can get a lot of really good results very quick, but it can use for almost anything.
That was a problem when I launched my book about 3 months ago. You know, I have like 4 designs and I cannot decide, and I cannot be doing a A/B testing because Amazon Kindle, in order to change the cover page, is very difficult and it's very tricky. So I couldn't like try for like maybe 1 month and then I try again. You know, it was quite difficult. So but of course in the end I asked my family and friends, you know, to decide. But as I mean, they are not US citizens. So this is actually a very good thing, you know, for friends, especially most of my students, they know how to do Amazon Kindle as well. So if you guys, you know, if you want to decide on your book cover, I think this is a very good tool for you to pick as well. And I think many students, you always keep on asking me, you know, Andy, which product, you know, for the winning photo, you know, which one looks better. I can tell you frankly, it's based on it's almost only most of my experience. And nowadays you still have to do the A/B testing. So PickFu is actually quite good because they actually have the panel of people that they paid for. That means they have to really answer it properly. It's not for fun, and they can give you the answers and the solution much faster and better. So I think that's a very good tool.
And and the cool thing, Andy, is like most tests, you're going to get the results. Like it's crazy how fast it is. You're going to get the results in sometimes around less than an hour. And so for me, it's like if you want to get some feedback very quick. And like we were saying earlier, it's not so much about like if you're testing a book title or a book cover rather, I don't care so much about which one wins. It's sometimes these little out of the box ideas. Even if you're only testing 50 people, you see something, you're like, whoa, I hadn't really thought of that before. And it gives you a whole different direction of what people are actually looking for in your images and in your creative assets.
Okay. I suddenly can think of a lot of ideas on how to use PickFu, even like, you know, what is the starting price that you feel that the customers is willing to pay for a product that you're selling. So that there's many ways to use it. And I think PickFu is fantastic. Okay, so guys, if you're interested in asking Anthony more questions, okay, you can ask the questions below my YouTube. You can comment under the YouTube comments, and I'll try to pass it to him to make him. I'll force him to answer it. And also, if you're interested to know more about PickFu, okay, we have you can actually join PickFu using my link. My link is below, okay, and you can get some special price, okay, using my affiliate link. Okay, so just follow the link below, okay, in the description of this YouTube video. Okay, so to end everything, I'm going to ask the last question that I think everybody knows, that the usual question that I always ask. After this pandemic, you know, what do you think, you know, as Amazon sellers, you know, what type of changes do you think you'll be seeing?
Yeah, so I think the big one is obviously number one, don't panic. We've definitely picked the right industry to be in compared to anyone else right now. Like, I think we should all be very, very fortunate and looking around and take a deep breath like, okay, things could have gone a number of different ways in e-commerce. Online business is 150% the right place to be in. And so once you have that mindset that, hey, you see, like I saw the other day, like Pier 1 Imports, JCPenney's, all of these big brands are going out of business, right? All these brick and mortar, especially in the States, are going out of business. And so what you have to be ready for at this very moment is that all of these other brands are going to go out of business, but the consumer spend in those categories, they're not going to go away, right? They're going to need other people that are going to come in and pick them up. Now, obviously, existing brands, if you're just looking at getting into selling on Amazon now, existing brands that are currently on the platform that have currently been doing e-commerce, they're going to have an upper leg. There's no question about that. But there's going to be a huge amount of market share to go and grab. And the people who are going to actually dominate that and do well are going to be the people that are focused long-term on building their brands, not just about going to Alibaba, sourcing a product and throwing something online haphazardly. People who really take dedicated and committed steps to growing their brand, making it look amazing, connecting with the customer, putting out a good product. There's still a lot that can be done out there. And so, yeah, I guess the big thing I'd say is there's a lot of opportunity, but make sure you're really focusing on making your brand look legitimate, make it look as good as those big, because if someone goes to your listing, you're not going to be able to succeed anymore with just throwing up, a half done listing and not good product images, not good description, things like that. If you really focus, there's still a lot that can be done. And there's a lot of low hanging fruit, I think, still in the Amazon space.
Understand. Okay. Sounds good. You are going to the Philippines again soon, or
fingers crossed, man. I don't know. I was at a conference in Europe, and there's supposed to be another one, Prosper Show, here in Vegas, and so I thought I would just be here for a couple weeks and then get back to Asia. But obviously everything's closed down. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get back to Manila pretty soon, but we'll see how these travel restrictions play out.
Okay. I'll be going to Manila soon as well. So if you are in Philippines, I'll get to see you soon also as well. Okay. So
all right.
Have you again soon, and thank you so much for your on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. See you then.
Thanks so much, Andy. Have an awesome day.